It's time for the KickAround, the Ticket's weekly show all about soccer. 2 hours of HSOs on the clubs, leagues, and tournaments of the world's game. It doesn't matter if you're new to the sport, don't worry. This is the Ticket. We're just kicking it around. Now, two guys who can never go the full 90, Andy Swift and Peter Welton.
And it all comes down to his next kick of the ball. Oh, it's way over. Way over. It's Paris Saint-Germain on repeat. The first successful defending champions for 8 years.
Hi-de-ho, P1s, and welcome to the KickAround, Saturdays 2 to 4, here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket, where you, the good P1, celebrates or pouts as appropriate here on the radio and all that implies. Don't forget, you can find us on our website, thekickaround.com, now filled with all sorts of cool treats. Hi, it's me, Peter, and my left, but to your right, as you stare with great anticipation and love and care into your broadcast device or streaming thingamajig. It is the world's most interesting man, Andy Dalton Swift. And by the way, correct predictor of the Champions League final today.
Yes,
Look
1-1
at you,
in
Mr.
PKs.
Swift.
Although heading into PKs, I had my doubts, right? I thought Arsenal, maybe. No, I know. You got to be honest.
Grab the glory, man.
Got to be honest.
Grab the glory.
I thought you were a neutral when it came to this game.
I
but
am.
Man, the look of disappointment in your face.
Because I predicted Arsenal to win the Champions League.
When
I don't like being wrong, Andy,
man.
which means I don't like much.
Oh, yeah. Wait till segment 3 today. About what time will that be?
Probably about 45 minutes from now.
Yeah. Tune in for those that like...
Yes. The good Lars Sivertson will be joining us soon. He leaves tomorrow. Wait. Yeah, I think he leaves Monday for his great adventure over here. So he's currently, I think he's in Norway right now, back home with his parents.
His great adventure in the U.S. is what I was going to say, but no, it's his great adventure in North Texas.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. And boy, do we have a surprise for him today.
We're going to take him to Cowtown, now that I think about it. We haven't discussed it. We've planned some things for Lars, but we haven't talked Fort Worth.
We thought about it because we were talking about getting him either A, cowboy hat, or B, cowboy boots.
Also.
Or C, both.
Yes. But we should do it all there and where it happens, where it all goes down.
Yeah, you don't get those things in Dallas.
No, we're modern.
That's right. You go to Cowtown. Well, I'm sure most of you were just wrapping up watching the Champions League final that did go to added time and to PKs. And PSG now are back-to-back and defending Champions League champions.
Hey, before we go too much farther, let me check how many minutes these last two championships. Neymar played. Okay, 0. Messi, 0. Mbappe,
Messi.
What are you doing?
0.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Just showing that, it takes more than just putting together
a super club.
A super club.
Yeah, 100%.
Luis Enrique, man.
Man, okay, so real quick. So Arsenal took a very early lead, 5 minutes into the game.
You were like...
Kai Havertz had an amazing finish.
We watched the game separately, but you were like... I'm sure you were ecstatic at that point, right? You were like, oh, yeah, my team.
Well, we'll talk about it with Lars here shortly. I was excited because I thought that made the game better. Lars thought it would make the game worse because now Arsenal has no incentive to score. I thought it was going to be a grind of a game no matter what. So now that PSG really has to chase a goal or two...
We'll talk about it with Lars because I followed y'all's conversation and I took a side.
Gee, I wonder which side you took. Dude, let's everybody sit by the radio with bated breath to find out. Does Andy back Peter or Lars on a soccer opinion?
Yeah, you never know.
I think the game played out. I thought it was a good game. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that didn't like the game at all, but I thought it was a cagey affair.
Okay.
And I was.
Hey, there's something to be said for those.
Well, how are you else? Look, I think we all would love Champions League finals to be the ridiculous thing that PSG and Bayern put out a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's the question.
No, that wouldn't be a great final either. Leg one, the first leg, the 6-5 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
No.
Let me put it this way. Do you know the last time a Champions League final featured a regulation with both teams scoring in it?
Oh, great question.
Do you know how
was that Real Madrid Liverpool 3-1?
2018.
Was that the game?
That was it.
Boom. Thank you. You're welcome.
That was
I looking at anything?
No. You know your stuff. You don't have to defend your answer.
Wow.
Every game since then has been one team has been shut out.
Yeah.
There was a series of 1-0 wins, and we all talked about what cagey affairs those were.
Yeah.
And then the last two were significant blowouts.
Ultimately, today's match played out, and it felt and it showed, and I think like it was predicted that it would be, right? I mean,
by you.
No,
you mean overall,
no,
just the overall game?
Yeah, just the vibe and
Arsenal
the
was
flow
always going to suck the air out of the game because that's what they do, and typically, and I think my position that defense wins tournaments and championships stands because they got PSG, one of the highest scoring teams in the world, if not they got them all to PKs and largely kept them from being super dangerous throughout the game.
You could argue that Arsenal had more very close scoring opportunities.
I'd have to think about it over the course of the game. Yeah, maybe. I mean, a lot of, everybody's going to talk about XG, and I don't know if it's good for a single game, but a lot of that's going to be built off the PK.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that's frustrating. They got the game to PKs, and they didn't force the PSG keeper to make a save. Arsenal's David Raya saved a PK, and if your keeper does that, you should win PKs. And to have just flat out missed,
two.
Eze and Gabriel both missing PKs is.
I'm sorry. I was caught up in the moment. Who had the miss?
It was Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel, that's right.
And he hit it over
I
the top.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to miss those, that's really on Arsenal, not anything PSG's keeper did or anything like that. I mean, and if you ever have a penalty pairing between David Raya and that guy, you're picking. You should, by all means, pick Raya.
Yes,
every time.
That's why I started to have doubts heading into the peak. I'm like, man, I like Arsenal a little bit here because of the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And then England's, it's at the national team level. Great history of lack of success in PKs, even though they've won a few now in recent times. They've done a lot with psychology to improve their players. But, Arsenal at the club level, those players largely are not from England. Yet here is another English team.
Well, Arsenal, this is their third European final they've lost on PKs.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the other two were years and years ago. Yeah, it's weird how it happens that way. And the other stat that they talked about a lot, as the game kind of turned into a grind, as Arsenal clearly started to run out of gas, I was thinking back to the stat that the play-by-play guy threw out about halftime, which was the difference between being a team in the Premiership and how many minutes and games you play versus being PSG, who kind of just float through their deal.
And it was a significant amount of minutes.
Well, just the starting 11 players, I think I'm repeating this correctly. Arsenal had played 6,000 more man minutes than PSG had at this point.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
significant. Like
significant.
8 matches or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So, PSG, again, PSG does it again, where they always feel like a team that's going to fall out of the Champions League the last 2 years, earlier in the competition, only to end up winning it. People forget they almost didn't even make the knockout stage last
year. Yeah, very good point.
To go on to win it. So, and Luis Enrique continues to be a great story unto himself. Andy, to your point, he got rid of all the baggage and like Messi and Mbappe, and he fixed the team and Neymar, and now has won the Champions League twice.
Good players. Look, very athletic, good players, skill, play really well as a team. But I think that's the point is he also has role players that do their job, no player that is way above the others, and they're really, really good as a unit. And that's, I think, what he brings, right? The way that he has gotten his team to just play as a team.
And the fact that they just, even though Arsenal took such an early lead, they never looked too freaked out about that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't overpress, so they didn't get too frustrated. There were a couple of poor shots at the last part of the first half that maybe kind of showed a
You're
little
talking
bit
about PSG,
being a little frustrated. Yeah. But overall, when they started the second half, you could tell the game had shifted a little bit, and kudos to them. They've done it. They've pulled it off.
Yeah, and they lost that World Club final to Chelsea, and
that's right.
we elevated Chelsea to the next thing in world football. But here it is, PSG. They're the ones, really. I mean, this is
the proper championship.
The back-to-back thing now. That's big.
Oh,
that's
it's huge.
Big.
Yeah, the last time, I think it was Real Madrid. Yeah, when Real Madrid did it back-to-back.
Yeah. So, hey, hats off. Is this foretelling that France is going to win the World Cup? Let's look that up. I'm going to do a little research.
What the reigning Champions League club somehow foretells the World Cup champion?
It's a stupid thing because
how would that work when
clubs
Brazil or Argentina won it?
Yeah, right, exactly. See, and also,
does that mean the United States are not winning the World Cup this year?
Well, we will have a preview show, Peter. I don't know if you want to promote it now, but next week.
A week from today.
Is that what I predict? Maybe.
We will have World Cup KickAround, the preview show in all of its glory. We'll go through all 12 groups. Lars Sivertson will be in studio.
Wait, there are 12 groups in this World Cup?
There are 12, Andy.
Dang. Got to memorize.
And we will go through all of them with you, the dear, sweet Soccer Lovin' P1, a week from today, right here on the ticket. Then Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, World Cup KickAround kicks off 7 p.m. on the ticket. Pretty exciting stuff. And then the next 2 months turn into nothing
but soccer.
Yes, sorry.
World Cup.
Sorry, honey.
Not soccer. World Cup soccer.
World Cup
there
soccer.
Is a difference.
World Cup
there
soccer.
Is a difference.
All right. Well, congratulations to and I'm apologies
Nice.
to Michael Dixon and Junior Miller. Who was very, via text, already made contact and expressed his disappointment in Arsenal.
He was watching the game. All right.
Yeah.
Good for Junior, man.
He was feeling pretty good. He did a whole thing on the show the other day about them winning the Premier League and why that was such a big deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kudos then.
Yeah, good for Junior Miller. So,
That's right.
And all of my Gunners friends out there, Brian and Tommy and all of you, I'm sorry it didn't work out. But you won the Premier League finally, and that alone should help power the big parade that's happening tomorrow. They're having. Did you know that?
No, yeah.
I think the parade for winning the Premier League is booked for tomorrow.
Oh. Uncomfortable timing.
I don't know. Will they invite Gabrielle?
Yeah. We talked all along. All year long, what is more important for Arsenal? It was the league title.
It was always winning the Premiership.
That's right.
100%.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's find out what the good Lars Sivertson thought about that thing, and we'll do that next here on the KickAround. So much is happening. We haven't even gotten to the breaking news of the day. I don't know how this has managed to get past me.
Next segment.
But Andy's Liverpool has hired and almost reportedly fired and almost hired their manager. Arne Slot is no longer at the pool, and we'll talk about that. Plus, there's some U.S. men's national team news, so we'll get into that here in about 30 minutes or so on the KickAround. But first, let's have the theme song.
Lars.
Live from Norway. It's your favorite Norwegian and mine.
Lars.
Come in, Lars.
Lars.
Yeah, nothing really prepares you for the soundtrack, for the theme song. Gotta admit, I had forgotten about it.
Okay. You'll be hearing a lot of it.
This is the alarm clock you're gonna set when I spend time at yours this summer, Peter. Every morning, that'll be on the stereo.
Be so fast asleep and real early in the morning when Lars is waking up.
Your poor wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lars, when do you get on a plane and head this way?
On Tuesday, Peter. I'm getting on a plane on Tuesday,
That's right.
which is very exciting for me.
So Lars's day, what time, your time over there, does your day start on Tuesday?
I mean, my flight is at 10 a.m. or something.
Okay, so that is...
And then I arrive...
10 a.m. is... Okay, so you
like
leave
four-ish.
about 4 o'clock Dallas time in the morning on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Lars gets into DFW at 11:53 p.m. Tuesday night.
Lars, your itinerary, let me just say, because a little birdie told me what it was, that next time let me be your travel agent.
Listen.
Because this is what I do. I can do travel agent. Got a lot of experience. I can help you out.
Nobody can afford Andy travel,
No.
I don't want to be crass, Andy Swift, but I think if you and I were on the same budget, then I could also set up a slightly different itinerary.
I know how to work around those, but you'll be
All
one
right.
tired puppy when you arrive, for sure.
I will, but it's actually better than the last time I arrived. That was even longer. No, I've got a quick hop from Stavanger in Norway down to Copenhagen. That's just an hour and 10 minutes. Then it's a 1.5 hour layover.
Listen to this part.
Then we've got a 9-hour 40-minute flight from Copenhagen to Seattle, as you do.
Okay.
4 hours in Seattle. Yeah, 4 hours in Seattle, and then 4 hours from there to Dallas.
So
Love that for me.
Quick question. Looking at I'm looking at a map here, geography. Let's see. You're coming from Denmark, heading west. You hit the eastern coast of the U.S., then you pass Dallas, and you keep going another 3 hours past Dallas to Seattle, only to backtrack and come back 4 hours to Dallas.
So I think the main problem here, my friend, is that you're looking at a map and not a globe.
Right, yes.
If you think about the shape of the Earth, the difference isn't actually that big.
No, right.
But yeah, it is
you
a
go
slightly
over
rogue
the North
routing.
Pole. Right.
I can only blame Scandinavian Airlines for this, but this is how it's worked out.
Okay. Well, you get to see more of the North Pole that way.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So, Lars will be here on Tuesday. He'll be in studio with us next week for the World Cup preview show. But first, Lars, we got to know. I mean, it's the Champions League final.
Hey, hold on, Lars. I know you want to talk footy, but I have more important things to talk about before we get to the actual soccer. You know that Peter is a kit nerd, right, Lars?
Yes.
And we can
Much to his
it's like
dismay.
whatever. I'm whatever about it. I'm sure you are too. But I am a nerd about two specific things related to the game that are not part of the game that I want to throw past you, and I think you're going to be really on board with one, and one you're going to be like, meh. One is uniform numbers, kit numbers, when they're incongruent with the position that you play. Like a forward wearing 3 or a left back wearing
Buzz
8.
Carrick is so proud of you right now.
Buzz Carrick was part of my little
Circle
club.
of-
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like when remember Bobby Hammond, he was the team manager at the Burn?
Yes.
He had instructions from me. Any new player that we got through trade, draft, whatever, the number assignment had to be congruent with his position. We had one player one year come in. He was a central defender, Lars. He asked for number 10. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Which one was that?
He before I was GM. Iribarren. The Argentine defender. Anyway, that was not going to happen under my
You
watch.
just got to change. You got to change your mind about that dude. Like cancel the contract.
Yes, right. So
point. Yeah.
predictably, that's the one that you're on board with. I knew that. This one you're not going to be so on board with, and this I saw today, and this is why Arsenal, in a way, they're champions in my heart. It's the starting 11 picture taken right before the match. The standard 6 defenders in the back, 5 attackers in the front, the 6 in the back, arms crossed, the 5 in the front, all kneeling the right
the pregame
way.
photo.
The pregame photo, buttoned up, the number 9 in the middle. I hadn't seen one done as well as Arsenal's today in such a long time, because young players, they don't care about that anymore. And it was such an important thing of soccer, that pre-match, pre-kickoff starting 11 shot. And Arsenal, they were glorious today. If you've recorded the game, go back and look at it. So to me, Arsenal, they're champions in my heart because of that.
Listen, I think I don't think that's much of a consolation for a lot of Arsenal fans that they got the pre-match photo right. I mean, they're not going to feel that right now, but that's fine. I like that we have different things that we're nerds about. I think I have a thing as well, which is stadiums. I like a stadium, and I'm a little bit specific about what kind of design things I like
in stadiums.
Yeah. And they don't all have to be like flawless. I like a stadium that has a little bit of like unique architecture, something that you're not going to see somewhere else. I like a stadium where you can look around and you definitely know where you are. Like it doesn't look like anywhere else. So like the Toyota Stadium, like it's not bad. Like it's got some features that I look at and think, well, I've not seen that before, and I think that's good.
Well, wait till you see it in 3 years.
Or wait till you go watch Norway in knockout game here in Dallas and get to go to the Dallas Stadium, AT&T.
Oh, that's
Looking
right.
forward to your reaction.
Lars,
Yeah.
there's a chance your national team's going to play in the Death Star, and if that is happening, we're sending you to that game.
Who's paying for that again? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Why not?
Lars,
We
do you
have
think
connections,
you don't
Lars.
Think, you don't think we got you covered?
I'm excited for the prospect. That's cool.
He doesn't believe it. All right.
All right, Lars.
Also, lastly on kit numbers, I know we're a little pressed for time, but we have a pretty goofy ass example in the Norwegian team. We have a sort of all-action, hustle and bustle central midfielder who plays with the number 2 on his back.
Duly noted.
Now, the
Duly
reason
noted
is,
for
now,
my predictions.
How you feel about this, he does have a reason, and the reason is he's a climate activist in his spare time. So the number 2 is in reference to the Paris Climate Accords and the sort of goal of I think limiting the warming to 2 degrees centigrade or something like this. There's a lot of overthinking behind this, and I think his motivations are like morally pure in his mind, I guess. But it is a very odd thing to see.
Duly noted.
All right, very good. My bigger issue was with the font that you Norwegians are using on the back of those kits. It's almost impossible to read. I don't know if you've. All right, that's even. See, I can take it to the next level.
Because you're the.
I haven't seen this, Peter. Is our font? Are we using old runes?
Yes,
is this what's going on?
It literally looks like old Viking runes. Is what it looks like.
Nah.
Yeah. It's
Nothing
pretty
wrong
great.
with that,
All
my
right,
friend.
Lars. We've practically run out of time because everybody wants to know what you thought of PSG winning the Champions League final over Arsenal on PKs.
What I was thinking watching this, whilst it was going on, was that no matter who ends up winning this game, I do think this Arsenal team have earned a place in the sort of pantheon of great defensive units in the modern game. Like they didn't win this in the end, but I suspect in 10, 20 years, we will talk about this team like in the same bracket as, Diego Simeone's best Atletico teams, as Mourinho's first Chelsea team, as one of those sort of defensive units that were better in out of possession defending than really anyone else. And they do deserve a lot of credit for that. And I do think I think we don't talk about it a lot because it's boring to talk about, but I still think like the tackle Gabriel makes early in the game. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I mean, the skill and athleticism involved. So I was thinking like Arsenal do deserve credit for the defensive job they did today. But at the end of the day, there's no doubt at all that PSG are a better football team in terms of being assertive and playing the game. Arsenal reduced them to something much less than what they normally are. They didn't get the tempo moving. They were quite slow on the ball in the first half, I thought. They were far off their best, PSG. But overall, yes, it's game state because Arsenal got an early goal. But I think it's hard to come away from that game without feeling that PSG are basically just slightly better at football than Arsenal are.
So after Arsenal scored the goal in the 5th minute to make it 1-0, you had made a comment in the little chat that the three of us are in about how you thought that was bad for the game. And I countered that by saying I actually disagreed with you. I thought that actually was going to help the game because now I thought the game was always going to be a grind. Arsenal was always going to play that way, but now that PSG was going to have to chase a goal, the opportunity for Arsenal to get 2 and go up by 2 suddenly opened up into a new kind of scenario that I don't think anybody thought the game would be. Andy told us at the beginning of the show he was quietly lurking on our conversation, and he has one of us he agrees with and one of us he disagrees with. Let's let Andy reveal the surprising, shocking news of which is which.
Of course, I side with Lars on this for the reasons he will now tell us, because I was privy to what he said. So go ahead, Lars.
So there's a saying in Britain which is the proof of the pudding lies in its eating. And I think the proof of the pudding here is that the second PSG got an equalizer, the game suddenly became more entertaining. Because the problem is when Arsenal get that early goal, they have simply no incentive to attack at all. They just kind of sit back in the low block and defend. Now, you can make the case that they probably would have done that anyway, and that's possible. But at least if they don't have a goal, they have some kind of incentive to occasionally bring people forward, which they just weren't doing at all for the first hour of this game.
See, I disagree with you. They were pressing. They were still pressing, not as heavily as they were before the goal, but they were still pressing in PSG's final third. They were coming out and chasing attackers into the midfield. They weren't parking the bus in that sense, in my opinion.
By getting that goal so early, they needed a goal. Like, you don't play for the PK. Right? I mean, maybe you do in the 80th, but not when you kick off.
No.
You play. They have to get a goal. That's the mentality. They go in. They feel they can get the shutout. They have to get a goal. By getting that goal so early, it takes the incentive. It's like exactly what Lars said. I don't know what part of how Lars said it. You don't understand.
I just think that game was going to play out that exact same way, whether Arsenal was up 1-0 or it was 0-0.
It would have been a little bit more open. Not as.
And I will also say, it's possible that you guys were in your cars getting to the station for the show or something, but like when the 1-1 goes in, the game immediately opens up and becomes a lot more fun because Arsenal now have to come out and try to play a little. And PSG's strengths, like their two massive strengths, are the extreme speed they have right across the board and the one-on-one technical quality of their attackers. Now, if Arsenal sit back and compress the space, those strengths are kind of nullified. But as soon as Arsenal have to move up and leave some kind of space behind them, then it's game on. So as the game opened up a lot more and became a lot more entertaining at 1-1, I thought.
Well, it all ended up, crazily enough, going all the way to PKs. Somehow Arsenal do themselves wrong because David Raya saves a PK, but somehow Eze and Gabriel both completely miss their opportunities, and Arsenal end up losing on PKs. Lars, is it all justified?
Yeah, interesting little detail. Maybe I'm burying the lead here, but did you notice after Gabriel had missed, and of course the PSG players were celebrating and the Arsenal players were sad. First thing that happens is that Marquinhos, the captain of PSG, goes over to Gabriel and consoles him and talks to him. And of course the subtext there is those two guys are going to be playing center half for Brazil this summer.
Yeah, he needs him mentally back, right?
Yeah, and what do you think the chances were? He came over and said, like, this sucks for you, my friend, but you know what? We're going to win the World Cup this summer. Like, it'll have been something like that, right?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, saved your good one for the one we need in the World Cup.
I was telling Andy, did you hear, Lars, the stat about the last time we had a Champions League final that featured two teams both scoring in normal time?
I did not hear that.
Do you guess when do you think the last time a Champions League final did not end with one team shut out in normal time?
I have no idea, Peter. 2016 or something?
2018.
Oh, okay, I was close.
It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a.
Yeah, no, it's unusual. Like it was. It's kind of a weird thing to say, given that they lost. But I want to reiterate, I was watching this game thinking, the Arsenal are so good at what they do. And they've been doing it all year. And yes, it didn't break in their favor. But like reducing PSG to what they were in this game, so many of the PSG players were not able to do the sort of fun attacking stuff that they usually do. They do deserve a lot of credit for that. And I think they have kind of earned their place in the pantheon of like the great modern defensive teams, Arsenal. And they deserve credit for that. Penalties can go either way, and it just wasn't there.
That's fair, especially coming from a Spurs fan. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the Spurs fan in me very sad that it was Gabriel of all the people who missed that penalty? The Spurs fan in me was probably okay with that outcome, to be perfectly honest. But, you know, we have to give them the credit that they're due.
Is there a smidge of karma in him moonshotting it to end the season?
There was also like maybe a little bit of, possibly maybe there.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. I'm not even going to go there, Peter.
All right, Lars. I was this close to my big harebrained preseason prediction of Arsenal winning the Champions League, which people openly laughed in my face over coming true.
I did not, my friend.
You,
I was right there with you.
Not you.
Is he talking about me? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But. So I got that one wrong. Next, we review our preseason Premier League predictions. Lars, I have a feeling that's not going to go well for me there either. So let's do that next here on the Kick Around. There is some dodgy U.S. men's national team news to share with everybody. So steel yourselves for that, kids. We'll do that probably in about 20 minutes here on the KickAround. Welcome back. Andy and myself are here, but via the miracle of the interwebs, he is calling in from Norway. It is Lars Sivertsen. Hello again, Lars.
Hello.
Lars, we have a surprise for you.
Do you?
Ooh.
Hey now.
So, Lars, you will be here next week, and
I will.
For a portion of the initial stay, like a few days, you'll be staying with me at my house. But then, for the duration of the tournament, meaning until you leave sometime late in July, we have set up for you some accommodations. And you're going to be delighted about where you're staying. You're going to be down by the lake. You're going to be in a beautiful part of Dallas. But that meant, well, how is Lars going to get around? How are we going to get him to and fro? How is Lars going to get himself about? So, Lars, I would like to surprise you with this news. We have acquired for you an account with the great rideshare, local company, by the way, of Alto.
No. That's exciting.
Nice, Lars.
That is very exciting.
You are in for a treat. No, you don't understand. This is not any regular. No, okay, see, this just makes it harder for me to say what I was about to say. But I'm a client.
Oh, shocker! Andy has
of course you are, Andy.
But yeah,
if
will.
It's good, I'm expecting you to be a client.
Yes, I vouch for this service.
All right, so Lars, does that help you kind of frame how awesome this is, knowing that Andy is an Alto client?
It does set the bar. No, because this has been a thinking the other day. Like, I have never lived for 2 months in a place where you can't walk to where you want to go. Like, the European cities, they're very walkable. You've heard all this stuff, and it is kind of true. So I was kind of thinking, damn, how am I actually going to get around? This is very good news for me.
That's right. So Alto is a local company. What makes them different from everybody else is all the cars in their service are owned by Alto. All the drivers are full-time employees. Everything is consistent, the same. It's awesome. Alto is great. You don't have to have a subscription, by the way. You can go hire an Alto car on their app whenever you want to. So the website is altoride.com. And Lars, they will be at your beck and call in service while you're here in the Dallas area.
Hey, Lars.
That is incredibly exciting, because as the listeners are probably going to get to know me better over the summer as we're doing a daily show, one of my sort of slightly shameful things, I have to admit, I am secretly a minor snob about certain things, but I picked a really bad career path for that. I really should have done something else income-wise, but I do quite like nice things. You're telling me this is very nice, so this excites me no end.
The service will come in handy, Lars, for those post-show little dinner sessions we may have to.
Very nice.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's very exciting for
me. So Lars, as you know, P1s, as you are driving around for the next couple of months and you see an Alto car, you'll just ask yourself, is Lars in there? Is Lars in that Alto car?
I might be.
We're going to have to start a bit.
Yeah,
which
hashtag,
is P1s are going to have to see if they spot Lars in the wild in Dallas for the next 2 months. They're going to have to put it on the interwebs and hashtag
Lars
Dallas or
Lars
something.
Dallas.
If you spot me in the wild, or if you just spot an Alto that theoretically I could be in, listening to classical music.
Could that be Lars?
You should.
Yeah.
So thank you to Alto for helping out and get Lars shipped around while he's in town for the next 2 months. All right, Lars, real quick, before we get into prediction review, the big news today is I woke up this morning to find out that Liverpool had sacked Arne Slot. Andy, your reaction live on the air?
I'm okay with that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because of what's coming. Because I was like, one more season is okay, or let's start the next season and see how it goes. But
okay, before we get to who is reportedly replacing him, Lars, what was your reaction when you heard Mr. Slot was no more of the weirdo machine type?
That was the right decision. Without doing the whole 5-minute TED talk about it, I felt that was the right decision for a little while. what interests me is that the briefings from Liverpool to the press were very like, we're sticking with Sloth, he's the long-term guy, which raises two options to me. First of all, that they were lying, and that happens, comms people lie all the time. And Andy, you've worked on the other side of the fence, you know this. But the other option is this may have been a decision that was made slightly above the heads of the regular executives at Anfield. This might have come straight from the top, and that the comms people doing the briefings were maybe not aware of what the thinking actually was.
They were in the dark, as they say.
It might be more than, for instance, the sporting director or these guys throwing their weight around. This might be straight from Fenway Sports Group and them just deciding that, whatever you think over there in England, we're not having this guy.
Well, they canned their baseball coach just a month ago, so maybe they're just in the mood. Yeah.
Well, Konate found out that he's not coming back, and there's been some words that it's been a bit of a mess.
But more importantly, let's talk about who may come. Yes.
So all reports are indicating leading the charge to take over would be Mr. Areola.
Andoni
Areola, formerly of Bournemouth, who, by the way, did you know Bournemouth had the longest undefeated streak in the Premier League this year?
No, but look.
Yes, that's
and he's taken them from like 15th to 12th to 9th or 8th or so, whatever they finished this year. I mean, it's incredible.
All right, Lars, should Liverpool fans be excited by this, or will this be another case of a guy who really cut his teeth and took an overperforming team to new heights and then only to bonk when he moves up to the big time?
A couple of things here, and I want to keep it brief. This is another win for the Lars Sivertsen ex-girlfriend theory of managerial appointments.
Okay.
Always works. Always, like, I swear, and I want to hear from the P1s about this, actually, whether it applies to other sports as well that I don't cover, because it's always, I have experienced maybe in my life, but certainly in those of my friends and people around me, you see that when a relationship fails, for whatever reason, you can always bank on the idea that whatever you felt the last person lacked, next one's going to have a lot of that. This just always happens. People overcorrect, and there's nothing wrong with it. And this applies so much to managerial appointments. It almost always scans on some level. Now, what has been the biggest criticisms from the Liverpool fan base and for people against Liverpool these last 6 months in particular?
Where did the rock and roll go?
Exactly. Where's the energy? We're so slow. Where's the passion? We look so weak. And then they bring in Areola, whose Bournemouth team is all about the chaos, about pressing high, attacking directly, like causing chaos.
It is such a wonderful, if it ends up happening, it fits what Liverpool wants, like what the fan base wants so well. It's a little bit of Klopp, a little bit of Bielsa. I mean, he's the Bielsa tree, right? Because it wasn't Pep Bielsa tree, and then he's a Pep guy. So, man, it'll be crazy if it's him. There is another even more basic thing I'd flag up, which is the current sporting director of Liverpool is one Richard Hughes, right?
Who used to be the sporting director at Bournemouth,
right? Yes, boom, connection. Yeah. Yes, there you go. Okay,
that's where that link is.
All right,
done.
Well, we've sucked up so much time talking about Liverpool and Alto. We have nary any time left to review our predictions, and Lars needs to go.
Sad.
Okay,
so
I'll
Andy,
be quick.
Real quick.
I'll be quick.
This is going to be painful.
So we all picked the top 8 and then the relegation teams, and we had a special pick. So let's tally points first.
Oh, no.
Who picked the right champion? And this is between Lars, you, and I, and ChatGPT. Remember, ChatGPT is an Yes. So, Lars and Andy, Arsenal. Boom. Points for us, Lars.
Yes.
ChatGPT and Peter picked Liverpool. Boy, were they wrong. Wrong. So, the champion they picked
I suck.
So, we'll take a point away from Peter just for having such a bad pick for champion. Top 4. ChatGPT and Peter each picked 2 of the top 4. Lars, you also picked 2. I got 3 of the 4 right, so point for me.
All right. I'm starting to question.
Thanks to my Manchester
the banker
United
here.
pick. No, right there. Liverpool is where I was wrong.
Is anybody going to check your work?
Top 8. Top 8. I'm proud to say that Lars, ChatGPT, and myself all got 5 of the 8 right.
Okay.
Peter got 4. just barely half. So point for all of us except Peter.
Thank God I host a soccer show.
And then I have to give Peter a negative point because he picked Forest in the top 8. Nobody had such a bad pick for the top 8. So Peter gets another negative point. So far, heading into relegation, we have ChatGPT at 1 point, Lars at 2, Andy at 3, and Peter at -2. Okay, relegation. We all picked Sunderland to go down. All wrong there.
Yes.
Okay.
Boy,
yes.
we all deserve -1 for that.
We all picked Burnley to go down. We get a point each there. Very good, Peter. You got your first point. Okay. Well done.
Yay!
And then you guys, including ChatGPT, all picked Leeds to go down with that group. I picked Wolves, so I will give myself an extra point there. Thank you.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. The big tally.
The special pick.
Oh.
We all had a special prediction.
Wild prediction. That's
wild
right.
Prediction. ChatGPT picked a goalkeeper to win MVP. He was wrong, 0 points.
That's not a bad shout, though, because Raya can't have been too far away from it.
Okay,
No,
close.
yeah.
And then we're going to talk about your shout, which this is difficult. And as the administrator of the predictions program,
I'm guessing it was real bad.
I'm going to give you half a point. You picked
come on!
He picked West Ham could have a chance to go down. He should have put him with the relegation picks. He didn't. So this was kind of a
But I did say they could have a bad season.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Love that for me.
So yeah, half. I said,
Shame on you for accepting that,
I
Lars.
said the champion was going to have the lowest point total in 10 years. I was off by a point.
So you were wrong.
Okay, so I was wrong.
I feel
I'll
like
give
that's
myself
half a
half a
point.
point, though. Half a point.
Yeah, I think that's
Wrong.
Suck at this.
Peter picked, his prediction was that Arteta would be fired mid-season. The coach of the champion team would get fired. So -5.
Sorry, Peter. That is
-5 for Peter.
Well, I think I was trying to hedge my bets between winning the Champions League and winning nothing and getting
the
sacked.
final standings. Drum roll for the final standings, please. The order will go from first to last. First place with 5.5 points. Maybe just 5 if you don't give me those half points, Peter, is Andy. Lars.
well earned.
Lars finishes, let's keep the drum roll going. Lars finishes second with 3.5 points. In third place is ChatGPT with 2. And bringing up the rear with a -7 points, Peter Walton. 12 points behind the winning contestant. Not only did Peter make wrong predictions, he made predictions at the level that I don't know, like somebody just shooting darts at a board would even get right, and he got wrong.
Man, when I go make predictions, I go big.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody to ever forget, I was the guy that predicted Liverpool would lose the Premier League by 1 point to City, and I got that nails right.
Your one prediction in
4 or
6
5 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Right, something
wow,
like that.
you still like...
Lars, are you looking forward? Are you still looking forward to being here?
Huh?
Yeah, yes, I do. I think we should really lean into this for the World Cup coverage.
Oh,
and just go
Lars,
Peter's
yes.
wackiest prediction. We should have like a total wacky zone.
Yes.
Things that come from Peter's brain that predicts this nowhere else. Because the thing about them, and I say this with affection, occasionally they actually come true. And then it's very, very funny.
I look at it this way. If I'm right, it's funny. If I'm wildly wrong, it's equally, if not even funnier.
It's like playing the same number in roulette. Eventually, you get it right. You've just lost a lot of money getting to that point where you got the 35 to 1.
Over. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Lars, travel safe. We look
Thank
forward
you.
to
I'm
you
looking
being
forward to
here.
it.
We're looking forward
My
to
sort of inexplicable 4-hour stay in Seattle, I'm sure will be very fruitful.
What kind of trouble can Lars get into?
Feel
in
free
the
to
Emerald
WhatsApp
City?
us. You
Yes.
can WhatsApp us when you're...
Yeah, you should do that. All right, Lars, say hello to the family. Don't forget my Viking helmet on the way over. Oh, by the way, your 2 FedEx packages has showed up at the house already. So
have they now?
Yeah, everything's ready and waiting for you.
No points for guessing what those are.
4!
Yeah.
Lars, we're looking forward to having you here, man. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. See you guys.
All right, later. When we come back, U.S. men's national team, there's some news, kids, and we'll tell you what it is next here on the KickAround. All right. We'll get into, we had to make a big change in the show because we were supposed to have the journalist Daniel Story on today, who announced this week that he has screwed together. He's coming over to the United States, and he is starting in Seattle. And over the course of the tournament,
will he be there when Lars is there on Tuesday? No, he's coming later.
He's driving all the way from Seattle down through California, across from L.A., over down to Houston, up 35 to Dallas, and then up through the Midwest to Kansas City, and then back all the way down to Atlanta, and then up the East Coast into Canada.
He's got a good car?
Or no, up to Boston. And he's going to cover, it's like 4,500 miles or some ridiculous amount of distance.
Good AC.
And he's going to 10 of the stadiums. Yes.
Good AC.
Now, Daniel is the same guy who last year did the amazing trick of going to all 92 English professional grounds.
Yeah, that was something else.
And that was really cool. Yeah. So we'll have Daniel on. Because the final went to PKs, he was already booked to do something else, and we got a schedule conflict. So we'll have Daniel on once he makes it over here. But everybody go look up Daniel's Story, Storey, on X or Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever, and follow along with that story because that would be that'll be pretty tremendous. All right, U.S. men's national team. Obviously, the big reveal was this week. Mm-hmm. Very anticlimactic. Did you ever at any moment wonder if the U.S. Soccer Federation had the wherewithal to pull a fast one by leaking
on purpose?
Yeah, like purposely leaking a wrong list.
I thought about that a little bit, but wouldn't that ultimately hurt ratings?
Well, it also probably would have really hurt some of the feelings of whoever was on the leaked list.
We talked.
And then
go ahead.
And then didn't actually make the team.
Yeah, right. And I think, we talked a little bit about this when it all went down and the leak, and I guess different approaches. Like some coaches just reveal it publicly for the first time on air, and that's how the players find it. And this was different. So I don't know. You had to. You were a pundit following the announcement on television.
With Channel 4, right?
Channel 4, yeah. So that was good.
Yeah,
so you had to really watch it and be into it and react to it. I turned it on, but man, it was just so.
It was all Fox frosting.
Yeah, just
it was way too much. But that's what these things are these days. I'm glad the weather turned out nice. I'm glad they were somehow able to gin up a significant crowd of people to be there. It was cool. It was fine. There was no surprises in the list. I still have no idea what Pochettino.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, surprises the day of the announcement.
Yeah, the surprises.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I still have no clear idea what Pochettino is trying to do with this team, tactically or formation wise. I thought some of his answers in the press conference afterwards was okay. I will say in his defense, I do think the brouhaha over the email thing is much to do about nothing, really, to be honest with you.
Yep. Which is, explain it for those that don't know.
He notified all the players via email the day before.
Yeah, and some people were butthurt about that,
and people got upset that he didn't phone call. But then I would also pose to you, would you rather be a player who doesn't have to talk to the coach that didn't put you on the team and get it via email, or would you rather get a phone call, an uncomfortable phone call, and if you, as Ricardo Pepi did 4 years ago, hang up on the manager?
Yeah. Which he said he did.
Pepi claims Berhalter said we're not taking you, and he hung up on him. So, I mean, it's a two-direction thing.
Yeah.
The manager's in that situation too. So I just think a lot of noise. Now, what were you going to say?
Yeah, well, no, what you're about to talk about.
Yeah, so
one of the reasons perhaps.
So the big news that has happened this morning, obviously the team is in Carolina to play Senegal tomorrow, and that is one of the last two exhibition matches before the World Cup kicks off, but not traveling with them. And this is where it gets a little dodgy, is Chris Richards.
Right. And we knew he was injured, but apparently, he was going to recover in time for the World Cup. He still may. But the fact that he's not traveling and just not going to be any part of this team kind of raises a little red flag. But it sort of maybe explains why he went with an extra central defender in lieu of somebody like Tessman.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm already starting to get little weird red flags that maybe Richard's situation is worse than we were led on to believe. Remember, he was with Crystal Palace. He was in the 18 for their big victory on Wednesday in the UEFA Conference League, but he didn't play. And I swear there was a moment in the either build-up or after the game where I saw him walking around and he looked like he had a pretty significant limp. Now, maybe he had a boot on or something, and there's some context to that is unfair. But the fact that I'm now seeing some reports that people are now throwing out alternate names because the roster can still change up until June the 1st.
Right. And then even after that, up to a certain time before your first match, it can change again for a significant injury situation.
So I've already started to see names being thrown out as to who a Richard
replacement
replacement
would it be Tessman?
It could be, but Tessman's also coming off his own injury.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. This is like Chris Richards not being on the roster at all is a big problem. I already thought it was a problem with the fact that he's coming off an ankle injury, because those are just not things you overcome quickly.
No. And not for a position that is so important to this team. And this goes back 2-3 years when we've started talking about this team's preparations for this World Cup, the central defender combination and consistency and having the same guys play with each other as center backs. Yeah. And if he's not there, and Tim Ream recently, I think today, was named captain.
Yeah, that was part of what also happened today, is that he was officially anointed as captain of the team.
So it was that combination that was going to be really kind of like the hallmark of this team's defensive prowess.
Well, it also was, this is as best as it's ever going to get for this World Cup cycle, and that's not great considering Tim Ream is older and already kind of on the downhill slide, coming back from playing at Fulham, now playing at Charlotte in MLS. So now the combination becomes a big question. So if you're looking forward to what to watch tomorrow against Senegal, one, what formation is Pochettino going to play? And what I want to bring up here real quickly, and I meant to talk about this with Lars, and we'll let him do this in more detail next week, is part of my frustration is I can't figure out what Pochettino is doing. And I'm also curious if this is classic Pochettino in terms of like how he's managed the roster and the fact that he hasn't been sticking with one thing over a period of time. And I was asking Lars about this because as a Spurs fan and somebody that has covered Pochettino over in England for quite a while, what he tells me is, I'm going to paraphrase here, is that Pochettino doesn't care about formations in tactics the way most people do. He just doesn't. What he cares about is having 11 guys on the field that are going 125% all the time. High pressing, not leaving spaces, tightly marking their man, and he puts way more value into that versus is it a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 or whatever.
Okay, so two observations from that. One is if that's how he thinks, and I entirely believe what Lars says, he'll probably change things up based on who you're playing, and he feels comfortable doing that, and it's not a big deal to him. And then two, when you coach a club team and you have a game on a Saturday or Sunday and your guys go all out, and now you have a week to recover, and now you guys can go all out again. In a tournament play, that is very different. And so does he feel comfortable with the rotation he needs to have in place to be able to have a team that responds to him like that?
Well, that's part of the reason why I'm so confused in the idea that he only called for center mids, because of the
which
amount
makes it even worse, right? Yeah.
which really kind of makes that even more convenient. And then, of course, Pochettino this week talked about how he had all these other options to play in the center of the field, like Robinson and Gio Reyna. I mean, as a deep lying center mid, not a forward. That seemed crazy. But he listed off all kinds of guys he thought he could play in those positions if he needed to.
So, 4-man back line or 3-man back line, it's all going to be about that, and we're going to be talking about that. But it's kind of a little bit based on who they play. Paraguay is a team that's going to let them come to them, and Paraguay is going to look to counter. Probably same with Australia. Turkey's a little different. Turkey will probably want to possess and take the game to the U.S., and the U.S. will have to absorb and counter. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just changes things up based on who he plays, which is typical for World Cup coaches.
Yeah, Senegal is going to, look, the last 2 games leading into a World Cup don't really largely mean anything. Mm-hmm. But I think for the U.S. fan base, everybody wants something to feel good and hopeful about. Mm-hmm. And losing as they did to Portugal and Belgium ain't it. So I don't know if ultimately it's going to mean that much if they don't win either the game here or next week against Germany, which, by the way, will be on when we're doing the show next week. But I do think there is some value in the overall vibe of the fan base if they can get some sort of positive result out of one or both of these games over the next 7 days.
Well, yeah, but that has zero bearing on ultimately how the team will perform.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the truth, is that there's a long track record of teams that have gone undefeated leading into the World Cup and then getting grouped and vice versa.
Yeah, these games, very little correlation with actual World Cup success. But how the fan base feels also has very little correlation with. Fair. So if the fans feel great because they beat Senegal 3-1 in an exhibition match, well, great, but that ain't going to decide what happens against Paraguay in that first game. By the way, tickets, we need more people buying tickets to that opener.
That's gonna be
that opener in L.A. It's going to be fine, right?
What will happen is the rest of the tickets will get released, the prices will crash, and everybody will get into the game way cheaper than they thought they were, and it will go exactly the way Andy and I told you from the first of all this.
More about SoFi though coming up.
Yeah, SoFi's got some other stuff going on. All right, there you go. We'll talk a little bit more about this and World Cup stuff. Lots of World Cup. Because,
we don't stop now,
that's right? Because from this moment on, kids, it's all World Cup kick around for the next 2 months, and that's going to be it. So we'll talk more about the World Cup next year on the Kick Around.
You got Grenada, Ghana, Guinea, Norway, Turkey, Finland, Iceland, Nigeria,
welcome back to the Kick Around. I'm sorry. Welcome back to World Cup.
That's right.
Kick Around.
From here,
which is what this is for the next 2 months. Way too much us.
Sorry, P1s. Ladies, do you know I'm on the Kick Around?
Hey, are you Andy from the Kick Around?
Oh, you recognize my voice.
All right. Very good stuff. So much so, I think I have a problem, Andy.
Oh, you do have a problem. Which one do you want to talk about?
Uh-oh.
So a few weeks ago, I decided, it's time to start trying to memorize teams and groups. And so I thought, you know what? I could probably write something in Claude or Chat GPT or Perplexity or something and kind
of
AI, make myself a tool. And I did. And then I thought, well, maybe other people would find this
tool
helpful.
For a tool.
So on the website, just go check it out for yourself, thekickaround.com. There is the World Cup group and team memorization tool.
Let's test you. Group F. Come on! Come on!
I hadn't done it.
And off air, you tested me on 2 groups.
You threw me. I can do this.
So perhaps go tweak your little system, because right now...
No, you caught me off guard. I was thinking of the next thing I was going to do, and I didn't.
Goodness, and you want to co-host a World Cup show with me. I don't know, sir.
F is the group with... Oh, my gosh. Hold on. Oh, it's Spain. No, wait. Spain is H.
We'll have some teams playing here in that group.
Oh, F, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Netherlands, Japan,
Guinea.
Sweden, and Tunisia. Yes, thank you. Okay. Anyway, then, because I'm an all-thing kits, and there are so many new shirts to be looked at and enjoy in this tournament, I thought, wouldn't it be fun if people could decide which was the nicest shirt in all of the tournament? There are 105 soccer jerseys.
Because you're counting third kits, right?
Because there are 8 or 9 teams that have 3 at their disposal. Okay. Mexico being one of them. A few of the teams others have them. Norway has 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. They don't need one past their tongue.
And so I figured, how can we do this? Because now if you're going to put a bracket together, wouldn't it be cool if you could model it after the World Cup structure? So over at the KickAround is the World Cup Kit Cup, where first you've got to decide which jersey will represent that team. So if the United States, is it the striped jersey or is it the stars jersey? Mm-hmm. Is it for Mexico? Is it the green home, the white away, or the black third jersey? So once you get through all of that, then you get down to the group stage. And that happens just like the group stage does. Round robin, shirt against shirt, and then you move on to the knockout stage. And it is so nerdy, Andy. Mm-hmm. The math on the knockout stage mirrors the actual tournament all the way down to the 495 permutations of how third-place teams advance and get placed into the knockout stage.
So you have the right group winner playing the right group winner.
Yes.
So and you have improved it, because the first go-around when I went on there, I thought it was stupid, and I stopped playing because, some teams didn't have a jersey, and you couldn't do a tie, and how would you determine the wild card? But you've improved it since then.
Yes. So now at the group stage, you can pick, if you got 2 shirts, like Belgium versus Egypt. They're 2 red shirts. Mm-hmm. You're like, I don't want to pick a winner. You can pick a draw in the group stage.
That's brilliant. That's you've improved it that way. I wish you could decide if Germany was playing another team in their group, Peter, who is another team in Germany's group? Let's say Ecuador, right.
Ivory Coast or Curacao.
Very good. And that is group?
That would be E.
Very good. So if Germany played Ecuador in this little game that you put together.
The World Cup Kit Cup.
Yes. It would be neat if I could pick, I'll use this jersey for Germany, and I'll use this Ecuador's jersey.
No. You got to pick the jersey up front.
You got to just live with it.
I think you got
all the way through.
By the way, the Curacao away jersey, that lemony custard yellow thing, that is a sweet shirt.
So let's talk about this now, because we won't have time moving forward because we have so much World Cup stuff to talk about that actually involves the game and not kits. But playing your game, I've discovered, and I knew this about me, which is probably why I'm not a kit nerd. I am very much a traditionalist when it comes to kits. I like the good old-fashioned kits. I like those that have been with the national team for a long, long time.
So you love the Germany home white with the old design on it?
Yeah, and even that is a little bit too modern for me, but I'll accept it because they've used it for a few World Cups now. But the clean, like the Dutch clean, the Scotland clean, the French clean jerseys. Okay. Croatia's checkerboard is traditional, and they've always worn it. So I like it.
Okay.
I don't like the fact that they left the gap in the middle now. That is disappointing. These tricked up jerseys with scenes of a revolution and
the Haitian jersey.
I don't, we can do without that. And also the improper placement of logos, jersey brands, federation,
you don't like everything centered.
And centered is fine, but I don't like everything on the jersey. 2 logos at most, good.
Okay.
Some have 3. Too much, too busy.
So, it's interesting.
I mean, we're not NASCAR. We're just a soccer jersey.
Well, we'll learn a lot, because the other addition to the tournament is that at the end of it, when you're completed with it, there is a scorecard that will show you the results by percentage. Overall, right now, the Japan away jersey is leading all overall winners. That is a really nice white clean with the kind of rainbow of colors and pinstripes is very nice.
It's one of my favorites.
That is leading right now. The U.S. striped jersey is in second.
Okay, and let's talk about that.
Okay.
Are you in favor of the main jersey, or do you like the backup better? Because I like the backup better, and I think that should be their jersey. That blue.
I would prefer the striped jersey with white shorts. I mean,
do you like the wavy stripe?
It's not my favorite, no.
Okay, so
No.
you don't like it.
Both of them are like B or C grade to me. They're better than what we've had lately, but they're not necessarily my favorite.
But the U.S. ranked high in your...
No. And overall, they're currently second in the running for the voting that has taken place so far.
Some people are just picking them because it's USA,
Well,
right?
but the tournament is whatever you want it to be. I
Right.
mean, I see it as a shirt design contest, meaning, I don't care about what team they represent. I like the design or not. For a lot of people, it's like, hey, I'm Argentinian.
Yeah.
That is the shirt, and I don't care what it's
Right.
up against.
Yeah, the
It's
Brazil
winning.
yellow wins everything.
The Brazil,
right, yeah.
that's how this is going to work for some people.
But so for national teams, do you prefer the old school traditional look, or do you like the modern?
I like home jerseys to typically be the tradition.
Okay.
I'm fine, and I think the home and away should be mirror opposites of each other, using that nation's traditional colors.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a third, that's where you can go wacky.
What about, because I love Uruguay's old school. They have their.
I do not like the away jersey for Uruguay.
Their main one.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their first kit is that light blue, the traditional
with the white collar,
with the white old-fashioned collar, dating back to when they would win World Cups back in 1930, 1950. They had that collar.
It's a lovely shirt.
Yeah, it's great.
I dig it. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
What's really crazy is one of the nicest shirt designs that came out this year is not in the tournament, and that is Jamaica's home and away shirt.
'Cause they didn't make
really,
it, yeah.
really good, and they blew the chance of being in the tournament. Those two shirts would have been two of the nicest shirts in the entire tournament, and then they bonked it.
They're two jerseys.
Both of them.
Both of them.
The yellow and the green were both real, or kind of black with some.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice. So at the end of it, you get to the scorecard. You see the results overall.
Okay.
You get to see the results by group, and even down to the team, which are the shirts for each team. So you can find all of that on our website for free. It's no ads, no subscriptions, no tracking, no signups, no nothing. You can just go do it for free at thekickaround.com, the memorization tool, and then there's a third sweet thing coming out soon.
Oh, we can't talk about it. Okay.
Not yet. We'll save that for next week. It's not done. It's still in beta.
You told me about it. I'm excited for it. I think it's
your favorite of the three?
Definitely, because yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Very good. AI is a dangerous time-wasting tool. When we come back, we got more World Cup stuff to get into, including what's going on with Messi next on the Kick Around. Yeah, but dabba-doo, man, the show has flown by.
See what happens when you talk World Cup? Just so much more fun, man.
That's right. This time next week, we will be eyeballs deep in World Cup talk as the World Cup Kick Around preview show.
How are we going to preview?
It'll be an extra
How many
long
groups?
show.
12 groups. And,
we're going to do extra set. I think we end up going until probably 4:30 next week.
3.
So many teams.
Connor's going to miss out on the
7 or
90 on the 2.5 hour long show.
Yeah.
So
many. Whose idea was to expand this to 48 teams, man? It's a lot of teams.
I mean, when you really sit down and start looking
all
at
the good
group
teams
stage,
made it though, except what?
Well, you start looking at some of these group stage games, and you begin to realize that when the tournament is going on and you've got game after game after game after game over the course of a single day,
and it's time to watch,
and some of these
Egypt and New Zealand,
Saudi Arabia versus Curacao,
they're not in the same group.
Cape Verde, or Tunisia versus Sweden, just these.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all gonna be good games. Come on.
A lot of people have said, a lot of this talk right now, you brought it up, tickets, and look, there are gonna be games that are not sold out. And it's always been that way. People don't understand that previous World Cups, the stadiums, there weren't all sellouts or mostly sellouts in Qatar.
No, in fact, the U.S. World Cup in '94 remains as the highest attended World Cup in history still.
Plus, the average attendance of World Cup games hovers somewhere between 45 and 50,000 people, largely because of the limitation of the stadium capacities that the World Cup has been played in. They bring it to the United States because we're just chock full of 75,000 plus capacity venues. But the reality is, for a lot of these group stage games, you're not going to get 75,000 people to go and sit and watch those games. And at the end of the day, nobody likes this, but FIFA started selling everything at a super high price, because if you sell 30,000 tickets at a premium price, what you sell the rest of them at isn't that as big of a deal. So I'm just trying to prepare everybody for the inevitable, which will end up being a major, major talking point. But I
still think in our venue we're doing well and we'll do well.
Yeah, I do too. Here in Dallas specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
because all 5 group stage games are really good games.
And for those that are traveling around the U.S. to watch games, if you're not picky, like you've said, about the game you want to go see, you are going to get some good deals.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how dynamic pricing works.
Yeah. There's some, specifically in Texas, there are a few games in the group stage down in Houston you're going to be able to get into, I'm absolutely convinced, for under $100.
Yeah, if you time it right, I guess.
Time it right. Yeah, time it right, and you're not picky about where you sit in the stadium.
Yeah.
You're absolutely going to be able to get in on the cheap. All right. So, by the way, since we've probably got a new audience on the radio by now, Arsenal did lose in the Champions League final to PSG on PKs, and Squawka, the statistical outlet, just posted this, that in the entirety of the Champions League season this year, Arsenal was only behind on goals in any amount of game for less than 40. What was it again? What did I tell you?
No, it was closer to 90, right?
Arsenal were only behind for 43 minutes
43, wow.
during the entire Champions League campaign. And it was 0 today.
Yeah, 0 today.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, World Cup to talk about. We'll start off with the fact that there are friendlies going on. The U.S. does play tomorrow against Senegal. That game is being played out in Charlotte. That game's at 2:30. And I think it's on HBO and Telemundo and things like that. So, Iran did play yesterday. And the reason why I'm bringing that up first, they came from behind to win a game over Gambia 3-1. But the other thing that's happened
Where was
with
that game played? Do you know?
Iran, I think it was played. I think they're still over. I don't think they've come over here yet.
Okay.
I think it was played over in Europe somewhere.
Okay, got it.
Iran won 3-1. Now, the thing that's happened this week is that they have successfully negotiated a deal to change their base camp from the United States to where in Mexico is it?
I thought it was Tijuana.
Is it Tijuana?
Yeah.
Which means it's actually the same amount of travel that
they bit less, actually.
Oh, did it turn out to? Yeah. So wherever they were going to be base camped in Arizona, right?
Correct.
So the amount of travel they have to do, the difference between where they were base camping and now to the stadiums they have their group stage games.
I think they have 2 LAs and 1 Seattle.
Yeah, is essentially exactly the same or a little bit better. So they've negotiated that out. Now, the problem for them still remains the visa issue.
Yeah, but this actually facilitates things because the permission for the players and coaching staff is one thing. Ancillary staff and cooks and chefs and all that, a little bit more difficult. That's why moving base camp, which, they employ a lot of people in those base camps, to Mexico makes the visa situation, it alleviates that issue, and all they have to worry about now are the coaches and players traveling to the U.S. 3 times, or perhaps more if they advance. And if they do advance in second place out of group games, they would play here.
Yes. Yes, in fact, Iran may be the United States round of 32 foe if they both end up in second place in their groups. Iran is in Group G with Belgium and Egypt and
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Thank you. New Zealand off the top of my head. All right. Other World Cup teams that are playing friendlies. Mexico won their game 2-0 over Ghana yesterday. Morocco 5-0 over Burundi. I didn't know Burundi had a team.
Morocco, is that going to be your dark horse? I guess we should tune in next week to see who your dark horse pick will be.
I think I have 3 dark horses.
Okay, well, you should have 1, but okay. We'll let you have 3.
Egypt won over Russia yesterday. Qatar lost to Ireland.
Okay.
Iraq won over Andorra 1-0. South Africa had a game against Nicaragua, and that ended up in donuts, as did Bosnia's game over North Macedonia.
Okay, yawns.
Now, this is the one that I'm curious to know if you can predict the result of.
Okay.
Scotland played Curacao. Now, Curacao, tiny little nation.
Smallest to ever qualify.
Qualifying for the World Cup for the first time out of the CONCACAF. Kind of an unknown for most people. Scotland, mighty, mighty Scots.
Yeah. Curacao
headed
has a
over
lot of
here.
touch. Okay,
That's right.
go ahead.
Curacao in Group E with against Germany, Scotland, and Group C. All right. So
very good. Trying to
what
rebound
do you
there.
think the result of Curacao
Where'd they
and
play the game?
Scotland was? I don't know.
Did they play the 90 minutes? Was it unlimited subs?
I don't know all this stuff.
Well, it all matters because
It's
exactly. See all these issues that I don't know. Scotland. The reason you asked me is probably because Curacao beat Scotland, but Scotland should have won that game.
No, Scotland won.
Okay.
Heftily 4-1. Curacao with a red card in the game. I'm curious. We were just talking about this, about how these things are not good indicators of how teams will play in the tournament. Mm-hmm. But I do think as we get into the group stage with the Cape Verdes and the Curaçaos and some of these minnow nations, these really kind of first, the Jordans of the world and all of that coming to play in the tournament, how much are we going to see of this type of result in the group stage? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll see some of it, but
not as bad as you
Not as bad.
Okay.
And, Scotland played Curacao, I'm sure, as a prep for Haiti, because Haiti's in their group, right? Group
Haiti's
C.
another team that we just don't
and Scotland
know.
will play Haiti. Are they going to beat Haiti 4-1? My prediction is no.
Really?
It won't be a 4-1 scoreline. No.
Okay. Games coming up tonight. Ecuador is playing against Saudi Arabia. Mexico has another game against Australia. Tomorrow, the Japanese are facing off against Iceland. Switzerland is got Jordan, Cape Verde against Serbia. The Germans have a game against the Finns, and Brazil is going to face off against Panama.
Okay.
So,
exciting
and then there's
stuff.
games on Monday and Tuesday,
Okay.
and the U.S. plays their second game on Saturday against Germany.
All right.
All
Again, I don't even look at these scores
You
because
don't
I don't
care.
want it to cloud. I just don't want it to cloud what because on next Saturday we're going to be talking about what we'll be previewing each of the groups, but as part of that, we're going to be predicting. We're going to be providing what we think will happen, how those games will go, and I don't want my opinions to be clouded
You want to be colored by
what Scotland did against Curacao. 10 days prior in a game that we don't even like the red card. Was that guy? Was he replaced? Were they allowed?
Now
to
is he
continue
not
with
available?
11? No. Was Curacao allowed to continue with 11? Did they have to play with 10?
Probably.
All these things. It's like
Okay, you don't care. Does it make a difference to you that Messi now officially will be playing with Argentina in his 6th World Cup?
Well, those tickets to Dallas Stadium that I might have they held their value.
Yes, boy.
Yeah. So no, it's good. It's good for World Cup, obviously, if he plays.
Well, there was some question a week ago when he came out early against from Inter Miami with a hamstring injury, but
Well, I don't know if he's 100%, but he's good enough
he took himself out and he kind of walked
precaution.
off the field. I
Yeah.
have a feeling, okay, I've done enough.
Yeah.
It was that crazy game against Philly. It was like 6-4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Messi will be with Argentina. Now, we mentioned SoFi Stadium out in L.A. There is something to keep an eye on here because the workers who are all part of a union that work at SoFi have authorized a strike vote as they are trying to get some better conditions and rules. Some of it is tied to the ice being present during the World Cup, and some of it has to do with other and sundry kind of benefits and things like that. That could put a big crimp in things for SoFi if all of their entire staff that handles all of those things
They don't show up
for
match
work
day?
on match
I'm sure
day.
they'll work
Probably. They'll probably figure their way out. Now, last but not least, we're at that point of all of this where people start making predictions. Goldman Sachs has a model that they published yesterday.
Yes.
Will not surprise you to find out that Spain, España, are their favorites at 26%. France runs right behind them at 19, and Argentina on 14. My one-time favorite, England, at 5%.
This Goldman Sachs model, by the way, it is a pretty good, and they've refined it through the years. The data points they use, the metrics they look at. They don't share everything. They share some, but they're looking at the right things. And a lot of pundits, and I guess we're pundits. We're not. We're pretend pundits.
You, Andy Swift,
No, I
are
am not.
officially a pundit
We
with
are
a capital
pretend
P.
pundits, but Lars is a pundit. But this is not a knock on Lars. But a lot of modern day pundits, they look at recent things and they don't look at context and other things that do intangibles that do matter in a World Cup. But Goldman Sachs, that study does.
Yes.
And they've gotten everyone right over the last 3 World Cups. Right?
No, that's not Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
That is the German economist Joachim Clement.
Oh, okay.
Now, he's a separate individual,
Okay.
and he is famous because he has accurately predicted the last 3 World Cups. And they were all pretty obvious choices at this, but France, Spain, and
Germany in 2014.
yeah, correct. So, guess who his pick is for the 2026 World Cup?
Portugal.
No. His favorite are the Dutch.
Okay.
Which is weird because even he admits this is the first time in a while he has picked a team that is not clearly one of the favorites.
So do I have my own formula and metrics that I look at? I do. Did Holland finish in my top 5 when I ran the numbers just a few days ago? They did.
Wait, hold on. What is this formula? The Andy the Swift formula.
Yeah. Wow.
Would you like to share with the crowd, with the
Just
class?
got a lot of data points. We don't have time.
Will you?
I'll look at
Will you reveal the Swift formula on the preview
a
show
lot of
next
them,
week?
Oh,
sure,
we need to
I'll,
go to
I'll,
a commercial.
I'll talk about the ones. I'll talk about the metrics I look at.
I didn't know there was a Swift formula.
By the way, the last 3 has been Germany, France, Argentina.
Argentina, yes, thank you. Well, he picked all 3 of those. Maybe he will be
picks.
right with the Netherlands.
We picked Argentina and Brazil, I think you and I. In 2018, I think we picked France.
Yeah,
and then Argentina.
We've been pretty good at it.
Oh, okay.
We don't suck.
Why aren't we on national?
All right, everybody. Thanks to Cam for doing tickers, Dylan for producing, and Connor running the board. R.I.P. Connor. P1s next week, the big preview show. We love and adore you. Go on out there, get stuck in, and win your 50s.